Hello, this broadcast will be using the playtest rules for the Daggerheart beta. You will hear us criticize and judge the rules based on the version we are playing, version 1.2 and 1.3. This does not reflect the final product and what it can and will be. Again, we are playing the beta version of the game for the purpose of giving feedback, which we will happily give. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Thank you everybody for joining us for another episode of the Actual Play broadcast. This is going to be part 3 of Daggerheart. This is a playtest. It has recently been updated a little bit. It is currently, as of this recording, at 1.3. Although I guess it should be like 0.13 because it's technically beta, not full release. This is a beta. This may not reflect what happens in the future. This may not reflect the game on release if you're listening to this a year and a half from now when the game actually comes out. But either way, playtest. I don't think I'm gonna have any triggering content. Zombies, if that's a thing you don't like, being maybe some claustrophobia. But
you might want to warn them about the math that's in the game.
What math?
Oh, basic edition.
There's barely any of that now.
True.
We'll save that for an opinion piece. We're here to play the game. We're here to test it, here to give our 2 cents on it. Don't expect this to be part of our standard rotation. We're just, new game, who dis, want to try it out, see if we like it, see if we don't. If not, well, we'll move on with our lives.
There'll be a review episode.
Yeah, there'll be a review episode. But last we left off, who wants to tell me what happened last time we left off?
Fucking went into a house. And there were traps. There were some guys everywhere. I feel like we should have killed, but we let them live, at least temporarily.
They gave you a job too.
Yeah, they did do that. They're paying us in some arbitrary amount of money.
It's less arbitrary.
How much they said they were going to pay us. Sure, but I think that actually was it. They gave us a job. And yeah, I mean, most of the time we were just exploring the house, which was trapped like crazy.
Yep.
The house was trapped like crazy. We found the guys who apparently broke into the house before we did. They gave us a thing because they didn't want to necessarily die. And they also weren't trying to be hostile towards us. They told us to go to the old mines and figure out what's going on with this orb. And they go report to their boss, who's hiding underneath the inn in a basement. And if we're so inclined, we can off the Thieves Guild boss that's hiding in there.
If you're inclined.
Yeah.
If we're inclined.
But
there was like a monster in the mines that we were also looking for, right?
There's for some reason there's a reason why people don't go into those mines anymore, other than the fact that they think it dried up. It was called the Jugular. Once that mine was effectively cut off from any production of iron coming out of it, town kind of started dying. That is how they described it to you. But now you're making your way to the mines. It's not far out of town. Well, it's a relatively short walk, maybe half a mile. Not enough for you to really run into anything. All of you are... I will say that we have one character that won't be here tonight, it seems. We don't have full confirmation on whether or not they'd be present or absent. We thought there was maybe a conversation where they would be here. So she's just going to be keeping watch. Making sure like the tunnel doesn't get caved in behind you. So you arrive at a old abandoned mining spot. There are abandoned mine carts. There are old decrepit tools, axes that the pickaxes where the wood of the handles have rotted, and are just overall decaying. It doesn't look well kept because abandoned. Why would you? And the entrance to the mine is boarded up.
It's boarded up, guys. I guess we're gonna have to leave.
Well, shit.
Guess that's that. I mean, Zara will give the boards a test, see if he can pull them free easy enough. If
Great.
not, we can apply more aggressive methods.
Roll strength.
13 of fear. What a great start.
I'll happily take the fear token. But easy enough. You pull it off. You're just they're the boards aren't very strong. Like they're also suffering from decay and just overall the slow death that is this town. So it doesn't take a lot in the way of effort to pull all that off, and the entrance is now open to you.
Okay. Anyway, so
Do any of you have torches?
Well, I think that's part of our normal equipment.
Believe it might be.
I believe so.
Yep.
Yes.
There is a torch in my equipment.
Yep.
As far as I saw, no one, technically speaking, has dark vision in this game. There is no vision thing.
And Talia snaps her fingers and illuminates the room with prestidigitation.
Fair enough. There are actually some old lamps hanging that still have some oil in them.
Is there like a time limit on that light, Fisk?
Nope.
Ooh. All right.
I think it just has to stay in your hand, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, it just illuminates the room, so I am guessing she has a little orb around her. It lights up the room.
Sounds good. So, moving forward, it is a about 2-person wide shaft that goes down. It goes inwards about 30 feet, and then it starts to decline. Once you get to that point where it declines, it splits off into 3 directions. You have a direction that hooks off to the left, one in the center that hooks to the right, and one that goes just to the right.
Search for any clues, I guess, that might indicate which direction our quarry is going.
Go ahead and roll the instinct.
Can I roll as well, or can assist?
Go ahead and assist. What you are doing is that you are providing advantage to the roller.
Also like to spend a hope to apply predator.
Okay. Yeah.
Would Hunter also apply to this thing as well?
You're not rolling, so you don't need to spend the hope. You're just giving advantage.
Yeah, you're just giving me advantage, yeah.
Oh, okay.
For the 2 of you, they've changed how advantage works. Now you roll 2 hope die instead of adding a d6 or subtracting a d6. And then, depending on whether or not it's advantage or disadvantage, you take the higher or lower result.
Interesting. Critical success.
Nice. So, first thing you notice is that there are scuffs and drags through the dirt that you know to be fairly recent, last couple of days. So these mines are not truly abandoned. There's something in here wandering around. What you also notice, though, is that it's not just one set of tracks. You think it to be at first, but then you start noticing variations in width and depth of these footprints. There's probably 8 of something shambling around in here. With the crit, you know what you're looking for is supposed to be like a semi-malevolent presence, or so you understood to be. You feel a mystical presence down the right-hand hallway. Well, not hallway, but shaft.
Okay. I'm gonna cover this by saying I'm not doing Czar voice this session because my throat is feeling a bit rough.
Yeah, I can tell.
From I think a little bit of Friday night, and I think I slept weird or something. I got up today with a scratchy throat, so
Gotcha.
I'm gonna try to give it a rest. So Czar is going to kind of kneel down, examine these scratches and stuff, kind of give the air a few whiffs, and he'll turn to the rest of the group. It seems we are not alone in here. Pray we weren't told about. I'm also sensing there is something down the right here, something magical in nature.
Want me to try and check it out?
Yes. I think starting there would be a good idea, although something seems vile about whatever lurks down here, so be alert.
Right. Talia will go and try and see if she can check out what is the magical thing. But being cautious, she moves forward.
Righty, so you're moving down the right side, and you realize that this tunnel probably goes the farthest. Because you start walking, and walking, and walking. And after a little bit, are the two of you following?
Mm-hmm. Velo will.
Velo will follow. What about Czar?
Oh yeah, I'm following.
Okay. You lose sight of the entrance that you originally came in through. This tunnel continues for a long way. There are several points where it branches off, but you can see into those branches. It's where more than likely iron or another metal was found and dug up. And there's several indentations like this. They don't go super deep. They're probably would equivalent to being small to large size rooms, but looking in there, you don't see anything. As you're making your way down, you see more of this same layout. There's more offshoots that likely connect to a small room. You could explore them, but at the very end of the trail here of this tunnel, you see where it looked like a cave-in occurred. But in that cave-in, you see a small blue glow.
All right.
Some sort of object.
She will look around first to see that the coast is clear.
Give me an instinct.
All right. Let's see. A 7 with fear.
You don't notice anything.
She will then go forward to try and see if she can take a little closer look, and also maybe see if it's magical.
You assume it's magical at this point. As you approach, you recognize this description. It is a small red orb with a black, like, clove almost in the middle of it. Give me a knowledge check.
A knowledge check, you say?
Yep.
Does my scholar
thinking meat.
experience help?
Yes. You being a scholar would help. What'd you say, Zar?
Oh, I said flex the thinking meat.
Yep. Make sure to spend a hope when you use the experience.
A 22 with hope.
Goddamn. So you get your hope back.
Mhm.
You know this to be a clank heart. Clanks are the mechanical people in this setting. They are engineered sentience. And you know, by looking at this, is that if you can get this into another mechanical body, this person would be able to, function normally again. They'd be able to walk, talk, and everything. Do you grab it?
She looks to the rest of the group and then goes to try and grab it. Yeah. Looks like some remnant of the clanks here. Huh. Are they common in this area?
This area, not so much. They usually tend to be more towards like cities where if something goes wrong, it's easier to find a craftsman that can help fix them. But they're also good labor because they don't need to eat or drink. So there's definitely money to be made if they're like dragging things in by the pound.
Yeah.
As you grab this heart, you hear a voice. Finally, about time.
Oh, hello. Who am I speaking to?
Sir Roderick Feinstead. And who might you be?
Talia?
Hey, Talia?
Yeah?
Who are you talking to?
She points to the ring.
So, Brandon,
Yes.
does Velo and Jar hear the other voice?
Nope.
Okay.
She said it was a clank heart, and she started talking to it.
Okay.
Do with that what you will.
Must be some kind of spirit or something.
That's what it seems like to me, at least.
They seem pretty relieved to finally be speaking to someone. And she relays the name as well.
Yes. Are you part of a rescue party from the town?
No, we are not.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, then I'm afraid to ask this question, but I feel I must. How long have we been down here?
What is the last date you remember?
They give you a date from 10 years ago.
Oh, that was 10 years ago.
Fantastic. Either way, doesn't matter. I have important news that needs to be shared with the town. As you may or may not know, the town was drying up. Our iron sources were depleting rapidly, and we were not able to find anything else. However, me and a small crew, led by yours truly, we ventured just a little bit deeper. I could feel something deeper in, and I was right. Could I get Zar and Velo to make instinct?
Oh no. My best roll.
I know, how dare I?
Don't worry, I'll roll with fear. Hey,
My
look at
hunter
that.
senses,
17 with
would
fear.
my hunter senses be tingling?
They would be.
Oh, shit.
What'd you
That's
get?
a 20. Ooh, that's a 22 with fear.
All right. Both of you are going to take a point of stress as you hear shambling. Not like shambling isn't accurate. You would almost call it skittering. But the thuds make the footsteps heavier than like that of a spider or another insect-like creature. Whatever's making that sound, there's a lot of it, and it's moving towards you from the other end of the tunnel.
Oh.
You don't hear this, Rhea. Not Rhea.
Gonna turn and take a defensive stance. Get my shield ready.
You feel it too, huh, Zar?
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Company seems to be coming.
Oh,
Didn't sense anything. But I'll trust your word for it, she says, and holds her staff a little tighter.
You must really hear what I have to say.
What is it?
There is a new exciting... well, it's not exactly new, but there's a new source that could be good for the town. There's the match crystals down here.
You say.
Yes, used in all sorts of craft, the arcane and mechanical alike. The skittering is getting louder. The two, everyone that has lights up, see in the distance probably a dozen sets of like reflecting eyes. They're not moving in perfect unison.
well.
It seems to be a little bad time to talk about the surveys of this place because there's something coming towards us that seem a little hostile.
I wonder what that could be. We
Velo
cleared out these mines.
draws his short bow,
Been 10 years.
knocks an arrow.
All right. We are going to start. Okay. We are going to start combat. So, players go first.
Oh, no. It's us. All right, Fisk. We'll let you go first.
All right. Let's see. Well, she goes on a fireball.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I like the way you think.
I like your gumption there.
Spellcast roll. Can I use Scholar on it?
It's Codex. I would allow you to spend hope to do it though. So
Yes.
as long as you remember that.
Certainly. Let's see. Okay. Well, 22 with hope again.
All right. Well, that definitely beats any of their scores.
So how it works is that I make a spellcast roll against the target within far range.
Mhm.
The target and all creatures very close to them must make a reaction roll, 12.
They're not gonna do too well with that.
Oh no.
They do not succeed. Does each target make that, or?
Each target.
One moment. Fuck it. I'm not gonna roll all that many times. I'm gonna just wave past that. So yeah, they all fail.
So they take half damage if they fail. Did they fail? You said.
Yeah, they fail.
Okay. Well, I just did 11 damage with it.
11 damage.
As she flings a little sphere of fire that explodes in a
Yep.
flashy blast.
The orb of flame fires out, lights up the hallway as it goes past, illuminating everything. And as it gets closer, you start to see that there's more and more of these things.
Oh, that's a lot of them.
It is a lot of them. On impact, though, you just absolutely smoke 3 of them. The explosion, they're the ones up front, they're immediately vaporized.
At least that works well.
Who'd like to go next?
How tightly packed are these things actually?
They're surprisingly not running over each other, but it's tight. Like they're two shoulder to shoulder, essentially.
All right. How deep does their line go?
You couldn't. You saw as far as the light would let you from the fire blast, from the fireball. There was still more behind it.
Roughly how many could we see in the flash of light from the fireball?
You saw a dozen in the flash of light.
Minus the 3. Okay, so there's roughly 9 at least still in the front row? Question mark?
Correct.
Hey, Jar, do you have a AoE?
I have multiple. I could straight up go for damage. And assuming, I don't roll fear or whatever, you could follow up with an entangle or something, maybe.
Well, I have an AoE as well, so I was just wondering, if we could sit here and clear them all out with AoE.
Yeah, I have my breath attack.
Fair.
So I could go ahead and do that. So yeah, I'm gonna do fire. My fire breath attack. That's close range. I think we're in close at this point, right? Get a little closer.
Yeah, you just have to get a little closer.
Yeah, okay. Do that. I'm gonna spend a hope for pyromancer.
Fair enough.
Get +2.
Also, if I'm correct, as a Drakir or whatever it's called in Drakor, your Dracona, your proficiency actually scales your fire breath attack.
It does.
5e could learn a lesson.
Yes. I got a 24 with hope.
God damn.
Yep. I'm going to assume that hits.
Yeah, it hits.
I don't think any damage. It's just the dice roll. I think it's flatted. Oh, beautiful. That'll be 16 fire damage.
God damn.
Max damage.
Yeah, you step up and just release this gout of flame, again illuminating the hallway. You still see more bodies coming. Like, you thought there was a dozen before, you still see a dozen. But you incinerate 4.
Oh boy. Well, that's fun.
Velo. Well, time speaking, Clea or Zar could also go again.
Okay. So do you want to do something, Ollie or Fisk, or should I breathe again?
Yeah, Ollie wants to do something.
Okay, what do you want to do?
Vella's gonna run up shoulder to shoulder with Jar. He's gonna fire his arrow that seems to now be imbued with magic. As he does so, a spellcasting roll to see if this can work. So I hope this works. That's a 10 with hope. Scream.
A 10
I'm not
hits?
going to do anything. 10 hits? Cool. I'm going to take a point of stress because as the arrow is loose with magic, all of a sudden you see plants and vines start sprouting out of the ground, coalesce into one large piece, and then shoot as far back as it can in the direction of where all these shambling things are coming from. And everything's going to be taking... Ooh, that's not a good roll. Everything's going to be taking 10 points of physical damage as the vines and whatnot are shot down the hall.
So does it affect everything in a line? What does it codify that at?
It's everything within close of the target, right?
No. You can't. No, this is not entangle, sir.
What is it?
This is a towering stalk. You conjure a thick, twisting stalk that within close range that can be easily climbed. Its height can grow up to very far range. When you conjure it, you may also mark a stress to use it as an attack. If you do, make a spellcast roll against any group of targets within close range. It erupts beneath any of you're successful against, rising them into the air and dropping them 3d8 physical damage. So basically, I just shoot the arrow. All the vines come up from underneath everything within line. They hit the ceiling and fall back down and take 10 points of physical damage.
Fuck. Okay. So you fired into the line, and as it goes through, the vines do come up from everything that you could see, and just slams them into the rock above, with loud splattering noises as they all kind of as your vines retract, they kind of drip down. I am going to spend 2 fear tokens.
Oh no.
That's going to start causing a cave-in. You need to move.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Run! We need to run!
Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate what the game refers to as a countdown. Because holy fuck, I didn't realize you're going to fucking do that. And the way it's worded, we'll go over it later. But with all of those slamming into the ceiling, the rock's a little unstable since the supports have kind of aged. So
Okay, that's fair. It's been 10 years since that heart thingy-majigger's been active, so it's been probably at least 10 years since anyone's done any sort of maintenance in these tunnels.
Yep. So countdown 4. All of you are going to make finesse checks. Not finesse. Agility. Agility.
Wonderful.
Agility is for sprinting.
Okay. Is this just for movement?
This is just for movement.
Wonderful. I mark a stress and ignore the agility check roll and move up to far range.
Well, a 19.
Death maneuverability.
Okay. The goal is for you to get 3 successes before the countdown goes from it's 4 to 0, unless you do something else to stop the countdown. in another way.
Oh, interesting.
So you're gonna automatically pass your first one, Velo. Zar and Talia.
I got a 19 with fear.
Okay.
And I'm going to spend a stress, or I'm going to gain a stress. I'm going to beast form into a black and gray fox. Get a +1 to my agility. So I'll be agility 3. Would this count as dodging?
No, because you're not dodging falling rocks necessarily. You're
That's
just
fine.
trying to get out.
Okay. 17 with fear.
All right. Both of you will take a stress as holy shit. The ceiling is literally coming down. We need to move. So, tick. 3 rounds left. 2 successes left for each of you. Roll it.
I want to believe.
Veo, are you gonna mark another stress to just say fuck your roll?
Ignore this. Yeah, I'm gonna just mark stress, going fuck.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a
13
25.
with fear.
25. What'd you say,
Uh,
Talia?
Talking to you, Fisk.
Oh, 13 with fear.
13 with fear.
Mine
You.
was also with fear.
Yours was with fear. The two of you, it's starting to affect you. Like you're getting hit in the shoulder by these rocks that are starting to come down. They're small rocks, but they're enough to like kind of cause you to stumble and trip. You don't fail, but your next one's with disadvantage. So,
Nice.
but if you succeed, it's your last one that you have to make. As you see, the entrance is the exit is almost in sight.
So you said we have disadvantage?
Yep, you have disadvantage on this roll.
Would it now count as dodging? Is there rocks coming down?
That's how I was flavoring the disadvantage. So no.
Well, okay.
I was
Because beast form, I get advantage on dodge.
gotcha.
That's why I asked. Okay. Oh, I forgot to add the fucking disadvantage. Forgot that's a fucking toggle.
A critical success
Nice.
I got an 8 with fear.
with 12.
Oh no.
Well, I'm going to say with your critical success, you see Zar in this fox shape start to lose ground, and Zar, you get scooped up by Talia, and both of you make it out of the tunnel. Good job. Beat the countdown. I didn't think all of you were stacked in agility. The fuck?
I'm not.
What's your bonus to agility?
0.
So you just
It's
ran.
been rolling well.
I wish I knew what that felt like.
It's rolling with fear, like most of the time, but you know.
But you still kept succeeding, and that's the thing.
The first one I used the trait that I spent a couple of points to get more points or more bonus to the agility roll.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But all of you make it out as the walls and the roof of the tunnel come down. Can we talk now? Are you out of danger? I can't quite see. I just feel your presence.
Yeah, I guess we're out of danger. The roof The cave collapsed.
That's a shame, but with the proper equipment, we can get back in there. Not the problem, it's a mine. It happens from time to time. I understand if there is not exactly a vessel that you could put me in. If you don't mind holding on to me while I explain what's going on, I think that'd be best. I believe you mentioned you had friends. If they touch your shoulder, they should be able to listen to me as well.
She realized that. You can, touch my shoulder and you can join in on this weird conversation. Also, your little mine reclamation might run into a snag because there's a swarm of. Does she know? Can she roll like knowledge to remember what those things are? Or, like, has she read about them or anything?
I'm not gonna make you roll knowledge for that. Those were zombies.
Oh, there's swarms of zombies down there.
Well, I mean, if it caved in, I imagine they're all now paste.
It depends on how far it caved.
True.
Creatures previously known as zombies. Zor will transform back to his normal self and will put a hand on said shoulder.
Vela wants to take a cat nap.
So Vela
He's a little stressed out.
Vela doesn't.
He's a little stressed out. Yeah, Vela's not going to listen, and he's just kind of like, holy fuck. This is why I don't like caves.
Yes. Hello. Sense another presence. What is your name?
I am Zar.
Pleasure to meet you. Now, my understanding is that I have been away for 10 years from the city.
Yes. It's been 10 years since the last date you mentioned to us.
I see. What has happened? Is everyone still there? Is it a ghost town?
The town has seen better days.
But there are still people, right?
For now.
Excellent. I can work with that. As you see, there are the iron may have dried up, but there's something much more lucrative down there and much more useful. Magical crystals that could be used to power many magical devices. The technological devices, some of which are components that make up what I usually am. Shame, I liked that body. But, nonetheless, there is money to be made and the town can be saved. Who is in charge? Is the mayor still, Mayor Feinstead still in charge?
Mayor's dead.
Oh, that's a shame. Who took over?
Nobody. Recently murdered. Some people are jumping ship.
I see. That is concerning. Who is trying to take charge?
Thieves Guild.
Oh, that's a concern. That's a great concern. Well, maybe it's best that you get me to proper authorities. I'll be honest with you, because I'm not really in a position to stop you. But I hope, since you saved my life from that cave, that you have a conscience. I may 10 years ago have owed a very large debt to said guild. They would be very interested in turning me into an ornament. 10 years felt like a long time when I wasn't talking, didn't feel like a long time when I wasn't talking to anybody. But they could hook me up to many such devices, and it's hard to experience pain as a magical spirit, but I've heard of it, I've seen it. It's not fun. I wanted to help the town. I came out here to work on paying off my debts. I intended fully to pay them off, but things weren't looking well for the town, and desperation led me to go further into the jugular and see what could be found, see if there's any more minerals, and I found what we needed. But I imagine that the guild is not happy that I haven't paid my debt in 10 years. I don't believe they are folk that would care that I've been more or less comatose.
Well, if we don't tell them you're alive, then they probably will just assume you're dead or otherwise fled.
Thank goodness for that. But what to do with them at the moment? Because, I mean, if they're in town and the mayor's dead, I assume they're trying to stake claim?
They want to turn this into a smuggling place.
That's deplorable.
They're trying to control it from the shadows.
I mean, that's still deplorable, but less so than, smuggling goods or, God forbid, people.
We don't know what types of things they were wanted to smuggle, so I wouldn't put people out of the question.
I mean, they're a group of scoundrels, ne'er-do-wells, and all bastards. I would assume that they put them at the top of the list because it makes the most money.
Regardless, we are not friends of them.
That's good to hear. But we must save the town. If is there a way that we could quickly remove them from the picture? That way, I mean, it's difficult for me to communicate with much of anyone in this state, but it's a start.
Is there even any alternative to the power structure that is currently being?
The town just needs someone in charge. I would prefer it not be them. I know where we need to be digging. That way we can make money and revitalize this town again. It'd be maybe if depending on how much is there, we could even revitalize the kingdom. More magitech. Not the point. But if there's a way to remove them from power, that'd be beneficial for everyone involved. Myself, the town, the kingdom, everybody.
Do we know of anyone that was like in a leadership position here in town that has beef with the Thieves Guild?
No.
My information
The only person that we knew of, I think the only person we knew of was the mayor, but that's because he also died.
And the information I have is 10 years out of date, so I couldn't reliably tell you if they are still there or not. Let alone if they're alive.
I'm not sure there is anybody who would be willing to step up to be in charge. It seemed most people have given up on the place.
This town is the closest one to this source of magic mineral. If there are still people there that are willing to work, that's operable. I will be in charge until the mayor is elected, as I'm the one that knows where the damn minerals are at. We just need the Thieves Guild gone.
Well, I suppose that would get rid of any risk to you. I have no qualms about killing the Thieves Guild people.
Then, go ahead.
No, go on.
Then I believe that is our course of action. If there are no disagreements.
None for me, at least.
All right. Well, some of them told us where their leader is, because they suggested something happened to their leader, because apparently they didn't like him or whatever. So we can start there. Maybe see about meeting with the others and then wipe them out.
I believe that to be a good course of action. They had to be looking for something. If we have that something, or say that we have it, we could almost immediately arrange a meeting. Do you know if they were looking for anything in particular?
I, as a player, don't remember. It's been a couple weeks.
They are looking for him. They're looking for a object that looks exactly like him in his heart form.
Well, they were looking for you, or at least something that matched your description.
You think a man could be in a coma for 10 years and not be hounded by debt collectors, but I guess not.
Well, when your bits are plug and play, they're probably less willing to accept you're dead.
If it's who I think is following me, then we might be in some luck. Because the person I owed the debt to was a Esmeralda. She is also a clank.
I don't recall seeing any other mechanical things around.
Well, we tend to stick out, so she'd likely be hiding somewhere. She could potentially be the one in charge, since she came all the way out here looking for me, if it is her. So she'll likely be either hiding underneath a basement in one of the cellars. If the town is as abandoned as you've described, I imagine there's no shortage of hiding places.
Probably not.
Yeah. So,
you do remember,
how did you end up there?
You do remember that the location of where the boss was, that you were told about, was underneath the inn. So...
Yeah.
And you asked how did he end up in down there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see, I was a prospector. It was my solemn duty to sit there and try to find us another source of mineral, or if at all possible, more iron for the town to mine and then sell. When the jugular started to dry up, it became harder and harder to pay people for that. But as I, like I said, owed a deal of money, I didn't necessarily care. And I just wanted to focus on getting any kind of money to pay my debts. If I could find us anything, I would have been paid a fortune. But I would pay off the debt and then would have been the head prospector. Although I guess if I'm the only one left, that would make me head prospector now. That's one mark checked. Either way, it is regrettable. But while I was down there, there was a bit of a cave-in. I saw the rocks coming down around me, and in a split second, I decided that the best opportunity I had to both secure myself in a place of importance and save the town was to rip out my own core and try to get it through the cave-in, hoping that someone would find it and plug me back in to a body of some sort or communicate me with like we are, so we could get the town flowing with both cash and mineral again. It seems that once the cave-in happened, they didn't bother. Or they saw the cave-in and not noticed my core. But generally, if I was disconnected from my core my core was disconnected from an actual body for too long, I would die. However, because of the flush magic of the crystals down there, I was able to continue to survive and more or less stay charged that way. That is the very proof that is what is down there.
Right. Well, why are the zombies down there?
That is a wonderful question that I do not have the answer to.
And why were there so many of them?
Well, if I were to take a guess, I'm not a scholar. I only know a little bit about the magic of the crystals as well. With enough death, and if the bodies of other cave-ins, such desperation, that had probably overtaken the town, multiple attempts, multiple cave-ins, people died in those cave-ins. I believe at one point we had a fourth main shaft in the jugular that suffered a colossal cave-in. But we weren't able to recover any of the bodies. If there is, in fact, magic suffusing in the crystals, there's a potential that the magic could have been corrupted by negative spirits, people, even offhandedly with strong enough source of that magic, offhandedly giving a curse this mine, or what have you. There's a potential that the could have created undead, and they've been trying to dig their way out for some years now. But that's only a theory. Not having known the exact processes that would have occurred while I was in the state that I was found in, I would not be able to tell you for sure. For certain, magic was at work. The kind of magic and why, that is lost on me. Again, I am a prospector.
Mm.
Can I roll any knowledge to try and figure out maybe some theories?
You could give a knowledge, and scholar would apply if you want to spend the hope.
Sure. Uh, 25 critical success.
All right. Hot damn. Clear stress, gain a hope. So, 25 critical success. What he's saying makes sense. The exact processes that he's referring to are is how you would probably explain it to someone who doesn't understand magic.
Mhm.
Is that there's a powerful and large source of magic down there, and this being the crystals. And emotions do play into magic. So individuals that would have been in a cave-in, if a large swath of them were in that cave-in deep down enough and close enough to that source of magic, they would have, their desperation, their fear, their their dread, all of that would have been a negative emotion that would have probably been in a feedback loop with the magic. They were probably cursed, almost not necessarily cursed, but they were cursed that fate of becoming undead not long after they died. The lucky people died first. Because if they didn't, the change would have been very short with the amount of magic that could have been available, if what he's describing is accurate. People would have transformed within a matter of hours, and then they would have torn apart the other miners that they were trapped with. The lucky people died first.
She does relay that. No, looks to us. So, what are we gonna do?
Well,
What?
I think we just start with killing these Thieves Guild people.
It would be nice if we
Uh,
could find out someone here in town that have beef with him. Some respected figure of the community or something. I don't know.
Hey, Brandon.
Yes.
While they were talking, would you consider that a short rest?
No, it has not been an hour.
Yeah. Okay. So what's this about killing the Thieves Guild?
This guy knows about essentially new things that can be mined out and owes a great debt to the Thieves Guild. So he has the knowledge to revitalize this town, and if this information goes to the Thieves Guild, they're just going to go crazy with power.
Hmm.
So the thought is to wipe out the Thieves Guild people here, temporarily put him in charge until somebody else can step up and do it.
Oh. Interesting.
Of course, if you're always looking to make a quick buck and you don't care about the town, you can always turn him in. They offered you a good sum of money. 2 chests worth. Well, a chest
we
worth
could
per
always
person, so
turn
it'd
him.
actually be 4.
True. And if we're going to use that thinking of get quick money, why not just get the quick money and then kill the Thieves Guild?
Well, they have the money, so we could just kill them and take the money.
Well, I mean, it's meeting the requirements either way, so okay.
It's not a video game. It's not like the money just fucking vanishes because you killed them, and it's not actually in their inventory. Hell,
That's understandable.
I'll have it somewhere.
It all disappears.
Shit pisses me off. It's not that it disappears. It's not that it doesn't exist in their inventory. And a lot of games will do that. They'll be like, "Here's a reward for completing this quest," and it's just, it's a quest reward, so it doesn't actually come from anywhere. It's just put in your inventory. So if you kill that NPC, they don't even have that money. So like, if it's like Skyrim, they'll have like 5 gold and a dagger in their pocket.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Like I about to say, I didn't play a lot of Skyrim, but I remember Skyrim having that problem.
Yeah, and it's more than just games like Skyrim, but it's happens in a lot of things.
I mean, it's fun to poke fun at Bethesda.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But anyhow, I do believe that you've all earned yourself a bit of a respite. I'm not going anywhere.
Definitely not.
Do try to
It's
check in with me, because I don't get to know what's going on if I'm not currently being held by someone. So it's a little odd.
Right. All right. I suggest we take a rest and then go take care of business.
Yay. I wish to relieve some stress.
So at your sheets, you have the downtime. For a short rest.
I guess because I know there's nothing, no armor with damage and whatnot. I guess I'll just do the thing to give myself hope.
That's right. It's a D4 to clear stress.
Yep.
Random dice rolls. Well, I got.
Do I?
I know it's like, describe how you blow off steam or pull yourself together and clear 1d4 stress. Well, all the stress you came from running out of a fucking collapsing cave. I'm pretty sure a lot of it's not you going up and punching the cave. It's you going, oh, thank God I'm alive. Oh, thank God. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just enjoying the air.
I'm just gonna, take a quick nap and yay. That was a lot of running. That was a lot of running and jumping and dodging. I'm gonna take a nap. And I guess
A short
I have
rest
nothing
is
else to
only
do.
one of these actions, correct?
Ew.
Nope, you get to.
Okay, cool. I'll
I'm
clear all
going
my
to be
stress.
capped out on hope.
If you were,
No,
what's up?
Can we do stress twice?
Swap any domain cards.
We did decide to do that.
We did decide to do that at one point because it says choose two moves below. It doesn't say choose two different moves, and doesn't specify that you can't repeat.
Okay.
Yeah, because like the last time we did it, we went to rest, and there was one or two of us where there was literally only one action that actually benefited us.
Yeah.
So.
Because if that's the case, I'll sit here and de-stress as best I can.
Yeah.
And my de-stress sucked.
Yeah, and like the long rest, the reason why you would choose two different actions is because like treating all your wounds or clearing, it's you're clearing it all. You're capping it out in the fix category. So like how it does work on a project as a long rest one. That's neat. That's nice that that's an action that you can do as a long rest action, and that's codified.
I've got thoughts.
No, I have some thoughts too. But has everyone chosen their two?
I de-stressed twice, and I rolled one of them both, so it makes me sad.
Oof.
Yep.
And what did Talia do?
Let's see. There's stress.
Did it twice?
Yes.
And then Zara cleared stress twice?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So,
oh God, I am alive.
Yep. Life is great. Life is good. But, moving forward, you guys have successfully gotten out of there, and now you need to, I guess, at this point, kill some Thieves Guild motherfuckers.
Sure.
This is the way.
It's time to murder hobo our way through this town.
In the town of Aquafria rode a stranger one fine day.
Damn.
We're going to take their bodies' water.
Goddamn. So all of you make your way to town. The mayor is no longer, suspended. You do see a couple of people actively wrapping him up. A lot of people are staring at the old manor, but have elected not to go inside of it. Because everyone at the opening of it is still that one gentleman's corpse, his shriveled up corpse.
That's right. We didn't do anything with it.
So everyone's like, maybe we don't go in there.
That's a viable option. There's lots of pain in there, suffering, death.
But where do you all go?
Well, I think starting with the leader would probably be best.
I mean, we take out the leader, then we go tell the guy that we took out the leader, and then we take out the guy, then we take out that guy. So see, it actually works out pretty well. Leader first, and then the underling.
Yeah. So, from what we were told, it sounded like their leader is underneath the tavern.
Correct.
So, to the tavern. Did they give us a code phrase or whatever to get access to the leader?
The notice that you also got, because they gave you the same quest that the notice was to present the object and say that you're here for payment, and they'll take it from. Well, they're not going to take it off your hands, but you go from there.
Okay. Cool. So let's do that.
The bartender is there, rinsing out a glass, wiping it down. She looks at you and, can I help you?
We're here for some payment. And I will produce the thing.
Julie, do the thing.
Julie, do the thing.
I see. One moment. She bends over and opens up a cellar door, like a trap door. Walks down it for a moment. You hear some talking. And she walks back up. It's like, if you'll step behind the bar, I'll take you down to meet Esmeralda.
Very well. We'll go behind the bar.
All of you walk down and descend. And as you descend, you see a Clank, dressed as a female, definitely feminine in nature. She is in all leathers, a dark leather coat, with a very vicious looking blade at her hip. She turns around, looks at all of you. Well, hi there. How y'all doing?
Hello?
Fine enough.
A lot better than now that I'm not in a cave.
Oh, I see that. I'm a bit claustrophobic myself, but darling, you're out of there. You don't gotta go back in. You just gotta show me what you got. I count 3, I saw a 4th with you at one point. Not so well. I could pay you that. That's not a problem. That's 4 chests of gold. I got that right here, and she taps. She kind of taps it with her foot. I just need you to hand over that precious little stone, and we'll be good to go from here. And she holds out her hand.
Can I check the chests first?
You want to see your payment? I understand. She kicks one of them, like kicks on top, and it shifts open, and it is just filled with gold. She kicks another one, same, another, and another.
Okay.
4 chests of gold for you. I'm a lady of my word.
Can I just get roll a quick sense motive? See if she's trying to do any hiding of things.
You're gonna be rolling instinct.
Okay. Oh, well, that's only an 8 with hope. I got no clue.
She seems genuine.
That's 4 chests of gold, and it looks like there's actual gold in there. So yeah, no, that's fine.
Cool. That's fantastic. However, Cinder Grasp.
Ooh.
Plus Pyromancer.
Roll it. This will start combat. I'm going to say this action, succeed or fail, will not count towards the tracker since you are surprising her.
Cool beans.
Nice.
Please roll good. Okay. All right. Fun. That is an 8 with fear.
That is a fail. You will enjoy a stress as you fire it, and lightning fast, she slaps it away with her sword. Like, you even see her fully unhook it from her belt. She's fast. Now, why'd you have to go and do that? And her other hand turns into a buzzsaw.
What?
All right. Well, combat begins, I guess.
Combat begins. It is player turn.
Talia would like to go first.
Okay.
Talia is gonna spend 4 of her hopes for Arcane Barrage.
Okay. How does that work?
For every hope I spend, I get an automatic 1d6 damage on the target.
It says 1d6 or does it say d6?
D6.
So what that actually means is it's based on your proficiency. So what's your proficiency score?
2.
So it's 2d6 for each hope spent.
Okay. So I just spent 4 hope.
So 8d6 damage.
Yes.
Roll. Does she get to avoid, or do you just?
No, it's magic missile.
Yeah, I assumed it was magic missile, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah. 27 damage.
Fuck. That definitely registers as these bursts of energy that you just conjure in your hand just start impaling her, and she definitely feels that. That is an action. It's an action that you cannot. Do you make a spellcasting roll for that at all, or no?
No, it's per short rest.
Ah, okay. Well, it's still an action, so you add to the action tracker, but you don't succeed or fail, so it continues on. Who would like? Who's going next?
I would like to try to get in before she can act again, because I really want to light her on fire with Cinder Grasp.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Do
I fucking gotta spend another hope for Pyromancer again. Hopefully this one will actually stick.
What the heck is? Oh, they changed up how.
Oh my fucking god, dude! 9 with fear.
Nope. You get another stress. She slaps it away again. That will go to her as we shift over. She's not a big fan of Czar, so she's going to move up to you with the buzzsaw, and she's going to tear at flesh.
Rip
Okay.
and tear.
Yep. Roll that. 20.
Right, they have fucking nerd scores and things.
Well, is your evasion 11?
No.
She misses as she goes to put the buzzsaw through you and sinks it into a keg, and beer starts to pour
My
out of it.
invasion is 9.
Oh, your evasion's 9.
Yeah.
Okay, so she does hit.
Yep.
All right. She does 9 points of damage.
I'm gonna do. I do a point of armor.
Okay. That was
reduce that.
Such a low roll.
Yeah. That will be a minor wound for me for 1 HP.
Yep. They also standardized that among all the classes and everything, so that's nice.
I'm realizing now that I'm pretty sure my evasion and armor values are different from what they used to be, and I believe they are both lower. So.
Check your equipment, make sure that they are equipped. They might be equipped.
Oh, it's equipped.
Okay. But then she is going to attempt to slash at you with her sword.
Okay.
19 will get there. This is going to be... This time it is 10 points of damage.
I'll spend another point of armor.
All right. PC's turn.
I guess I will go. So I'm going to use my Ranger class feature, which is Spend a Hope. Oops. Spend a Hope and make an attack with my weapon. Which is I have my sharp bow out.
I forgot to... we'll worry about it next time.
Okay. I'll make an attack roll against her. That's spending a hope. That's fine. I'll make the roll. I get a 19. Oh no. I got a 19 with fear.
It's still a success, so you hit.
Okay, on a success, you deal damage as usual, so that's going to be 2d8 plus 2. That's 14 points of damage. And now that they are my focus target, I know precisely what directions they're always in. All damage rolls I make against them will now deal stress. When I miss an attack with them, I can end my ranger's focus to re-roll the duality dice and take the new result.
Okay.
Okay. So that was just me spending a hope to do something. As my class feature.
Does it say
take up an action?
Does it say as an action?
No, it just says spend a hope and make an attack.
Well, you made an attack. That's the action.
Oh.
So you do hit. And how much damage did you do?
14.
14? Okay. That one kind of just seems to nick her, but she does look like she's taken a bit of a beating there. You succeeded, but it was with fear. back to enemy
Yeah,
turn.
unfortunately.
Yep. She.
Fuck you, you goddamn weird ass, chainsaw ass, sword swinging ass.
She looks to you and says, "Oh, then you get to be next." And she's going to rip and tear you. And the thing I did not mention, but I will be factoring this time, is that every time this creature makes a successful attack, all PCs within far range lose 1 hope.
Are you kidding me? What the hell is that?
What happens if you have 0 hope and
Nothing happens.
Oh, it just means you also can't use some of your abilities because hope's winning. Okay, interesting.
Jesus, does 9 hit you?
No.
She buzzsaws into the wall.
Cat dodge rolls away.
But she only got 1 action because only 1 action occurred. So back to PCs.
Who wants to go next?
Zach, do you want to go or do?
I suggest you go since I cannot roll above a 10 right now, it seems.
All right. She is going to bring up her Tome of Iliad and cast Slumber.
Is it a save or what does she do on her end?
I make a spellcast roll, and then she fall. If I succeed, they fall into deep sleep until they take damage, or the GM spends Spear to awaken them.
All right.
See. 11 with hope.
You get the hope, but you do not succeed.
All right.
That will, because you failed, bounce it back to the enemy turn. I think that's enough out of you, and I'm going to spend a fear, and I'm going to do Deathlock. Target creature within very close range. Binds the target with the curse. Any attacks made by the mortal hunter on the Deathlock target deal direct damage, so you can't spend armor.
And on me?
Yep, because she is sick and tired of you trying to blast her. You also did the opening amount of damage. So she's going to try to rip and tear you.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, indeed. $20 plus 5. Does 10 hit your evasion?
It does.
All right. You take 14 damage.
Well, that's a severe hit.
So you lose 3 HP.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else, successful attack was made. So terrifying presence. You each lose 1 hope.
I lose 1 as well, right?
Yeah. So as she sinks into you, you inadvertently, just the pain as it wrenches through muscle tissue and you feel it hit bone. You just let out a scream.
Yeah, she's not very happy. She's feeling a little pressured.
Back to players.
Okay. Fucking third time is definitely the charm, right? Fucking Cinder Grasp. 16 with fear.
16 gets there.
She's going to take 10 fire damage, and she is quote unquote temporarily on fire, whatever that means. Anytime she tries to act while on fire, she needs to take an additional 2d6 magic damage. If she's still on fire at the end of her action.
Yeah, okay. So you definitely it registers, and she lets out a mechanical screech, and turns around at you, and then realizes that she's on fire. And you did do it with fear, but she's going to spend her turn putting herself out.
Okay.
But that's her turn. Next, back to PCs.
Ali, do you want to take one?
Is Ali there? Is he muted?
Ollie forgot he was muted for a second as he was eating some more food. Ali is going, or actually Velo is going to. He's going to cast a spell.
Spelly spell.
Oh. He's going to cast a spell, which means he's going to increase his stress because he's going to do the towering stalk again.
Okay.
So again, Vela just kind of brings his bow up to his face, magic imbued in the arrow, fires it, and then as he fires the arrow, vine shoots up from underneath her. I'm also going to mark a second stress to use Apex Predator to increase the damage die. But increase my proficiency by 1 on the damage roll. So first off, do I even hit her? That's a 25 critical success.
Oh, okay. So double your damage dice.
So that goes from 48 to 8d8.
Yeah.
She's gonna get a point of stress for taking damage. And if this is going to become severe damage, she also gets another point of stress.
Roll it.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 dice. Yeah, that's 8 dice. Okay. 47 points of damage. And 2 points of stress.
The stress don't matter. How do you end her? Remember, I want to make mention of this. You do still want the body.
Okay. So it says it lifts them up into the air, but it doesn't really say how I lift them up into the air. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it angled slightly so that it's going to hit her from underneath, but it's going to launch her all the way across the other side of the room. So that when she impacts and then hits the ground,
Okay.
Her body's still intact. It's just I didn't use the vines to squish her like I did the zombies.
Gotcha. So you fire this off, and the stalk just slams into her. It's like you fired a tree trunk out of your bow, and she just goes careening to the other side of the room. And you see that her core is cracked. So she is dead.
Tell you, ow.
Oh. Okay.
So combat's over.
So we killed her.
Yep.
So we killed her. We're getting the gold. Okay.
How big are these chests?
2x3 by 2.
3 foot by 3 foot by 2 foot.
If the
I'm supposed to transport this shit.
I don't know. You just live here. It's fine. So 10.
Well, I mean, we have one spot on our thing for a chest.
Yeah. Each chest is 1,000 gold, roughly. Because if you look at the gold, they changed it to where you have coins, then you have handfuls, then you have bags. And 10 coins equals 1 handful. 10 handfuls equal 1 bag. 10 bags equal 1 chest. So it's still slightly obfuscated.
Right.
But yeah. What do you do now? You got 4 chests of gold and a dead plank in the other side of the room.
So is this just saying we can carry a chest of gold?
Effectively.
That's what I'm going to say it's saying.
Gonna assume we have Animal Crossing pockets then. Put chest in pocket. Fucking just sure. I'm trying.
To be fair, a chest of gold, kind of outlandish just to give out, but it's a one-shot. Fuck it.
I mean, well, I'll spare it. Conversation for another time.
So we did the thing.
Yeah. We need
Now we gotta go find the other guys, right?
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'd like to be put into a body again.
Oh, is that why you told me not to actually destroy the body? Because I wasn't touching the shoulder.
But they said that they relayed. Like I remember Talia saying that.
Yeah.
She repeated the information.
Okay. I missed that part.
No, I imagined you did. That's why I said something.
Well, I guess we'll plug him in then. I guess I'll go over the body and see if there's like a compartment or a switch or.
Yep. You actually see her core is exposed. It is like a dark purple lightning bolt that makes up her, like where his is just a dark red cloven crystal. Hers is like just a lightning crystal itself, and it's cracked, so you could just kind of pull that out. His body's going to need repairs, but that's not your problem. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess take the thing, make sure I line up the positive and negative ends correctly, press it against the coil first, plug it in.
There's a hum of energy as he oh, what has she done to this thing? Oh god.
Sorry, we probably roughened it up a bit.
Oh no, she's on some wild crystals that she's been absorbing. Oh god, it's disgusting. It's gonna take me a minute to get used to. Thank you very much for not only ridding this town of its menaces, but as well as giving me a new chassis. Well, relatively new to me.
Slightly used.
And slightly beaten, but you did what you had to do. Do any of you by chance have a screwdriver?
No.
Don't
Apparently.
really have to unscrew animals, so no.
That is a fair point.
So out of character, Brandon, they changed the nomad thing, so it's now I just choose a community card instead of like I randomly have a thing.
Okay,
What the fuck?
That makes
it's kind of
yeah,
winner.
no, yeah,
I'll just keep myself.
yeah, no. I was looking at it, I was like, oh yeah, I have a thing that's from the first session. I randomly was able to make gas masks. And I would look back at it again, going, oh, I could probably pull out a screwdriver from my pack, and nope, I could just at the start of a session randomly choose a different community. How do I randomly choose a different
It's-
community card?
It's remember, they're cards, so you shuffle and draw.
I play
Oh
Pot
my.
of Greed, which allows me to draw 2 new cards from the deck. I play Pot of Greed, which allows me to accrue additional cards.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
My grandpa's deck doesn't have any.
I'm gonna say you still have the Wonder Pack. I'm gonna say you still have the Wonder Pack.
Cool. Just like. Oh wait, hold on. You said a screwdriver?
Yeah.
Pulls off pack, rummages through like 2 pockets, and goes, "Aha! Is this a screwdriver?"
That's a flathead. He needs a. These are films.
I'll make it work.
Here you go.
Thank you. If there's any more ruffians, could you? And there's a loud screeching sound as he puts it into his own chest and turns it to pop open a compartment. Oh God, what is in here? If there's any more of these ruffians, please take care of them. I don't want to deal with any feedback back.
They should.
Okay.
There are more, but we should maybe take a little bit of time to prepare.
Rest up, you say? Take a short rest.
Yes.
So
In the system of 6 hit points, I'm not comfortable running into a combat with 2 marked down.
or for some people,
entirely fair.
Yeah, like a third to half HP for the group is kind of rough.
Yeah. Take a short rest. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, when
do those things.
when fighting broke out, it wasn't hard to hear the sounds of someone running away up above you.
Yeah, sure.
Not surprising.
I'd like to point out that the rip and tear ability that was being used.
Yeah.
I think it's just called tear flesh, but where's the fun in that when I made it a buzzsaw? Does 2d20 damage.
No, what?
So when I hit Zach,
wow.
so when I hit Zach for 9,
That was fucking wild.
So if something goes over your damage threshold by like twice, does that do anything?
technically speaking, that's an optional rule. I was not using it because that is not what was like written, and that's not necessarily what we're testing.
The big thing of the damage numbers is just getting within thresholds.
Yeah. The optional rule is that if it does go like double beyond your severe, you just take a 4th. But
Okay.
it would aka fucks your shit.
Decide between lowering stress or repairing armor.
Also, additionally, while you guys are making that decision,
Mm-hmm.
that was technically speaking a rank above what you guys would normally be fighting.
So do we get to level 4 as we rest?
No, because I don't want us to go through that right now.
Nice try.
Yeah.
I appreciate the effort.
I appreciate the effort as well. But if I'm being honest, I'm trying to wrap this tonight.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's entirely fair.
I do think the creatures are kind of cool. I just like to see them in a different system.
So stress has been decoupled from HP, so you can't take HP damage when you go over the stress threshold now.
Yeah, and now you
Did
don't.
they actually say if anything happens when you're capped on stress, or
So from
like-
my understanding, you still, if you get marked for stress, you still take that point of HP. But I think I had to mute up during that time. What I do know is that you no longer take a stress if something goes below your minor threshold. So if something hits you and it's below your minor threshold, it's a
I
bruise.
see. Okay.
I could be misremembering that. I could sit here and try to pour through the 400-page PDF to find it. I'm not going to.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I will alleviate HP, alleviate stress. Rolled a 3 on the HP and I rolled a 2 on stress. So
Yes.
my HP and stress have been reset.
Nice.
I took stress twice and rolled a 3, so I went from 4 to 1, which is not bad because I still have yet to take hit point damage.
Yippee for you.
I am dodgy AF.
What about Thalia?
What was the question? I was.
Your short rest.
Yeah. All right. Right. Let's see. Downtime button. I guess. Let's see. She's gonna try to tend to her wounds.
There. So I think you took half your HP in that one attack.
I did. And then she's gonna tend. Let's see. She tends to her wounds, so she has 1 hit point remaining because she rolled a 2. And then she just focuses herself and meditates for the more challenges to come to gain a hope.
Sounds good. And for those of you listening, the template I used for the enemy was the Mortal Hunter, which is usually an undead figure wearing a heavy leather coat. But I was just like, I shouldn't be bound to it being undead. Its difficulty to hit was 16. Its attack modifier was +5.
Fucking.
There was another thing I could have done that I didn't do, which was Inevitable Death. It's an action, mark a stress. 1d4 adversaries under the Mortal Hunter's control. They deal half damage with any attack made in these activations.
Wow.
Like, it has cool abilities. And with someone who's good at balancing fights, probably could have been fun. But all of you go through your rest.
Yeah.
And are prepared. He's been fixing himself. He stopped having his little stutter. And is able to talk normally. So absolutely keep the gold. But I can't really offer you payment for removing the rest of the ruffians. I can hail you as heroes.
I'm sure they'll have gold.
This gold is quite a bit, so I mean, we guess we could do that too.
But thank you very much for your contributions to this fine city. Well, town. If the mines yield what I believe they do, we may one day become a city. Be glorious.
So, being in that body, do you have access to the last, the previous owner's memories?
Unfortunately,
At all?
not. That's stored in her crystal, which is in 2 pieces.
Well, I could ask it a few questions.
Big
yeah,
thing
you
I just
talked to the
wanted to
digit
know
people,
is, I want to track down if there was a specific hiding spot the rest of them would be staying at.
Do
I
you
know we
mind
found
if
them in the house.
Do you mind if it turns to dust?
Me? No. She's a terrible person. Probably murdered more people than I can count. I can count quite high.
All right. Well, what do you want me to ask? Up to 3 things, but one primary thing that's important.
Where we can find the other thieves in this town, where their hideout is, anything like that.
Okay. And she's gonna cast Final Words.
Okay. What's this from? Is this a codex?
It is a not Codex. It's a Splendor. Absolutely.
Oh, damn.
And I make a spellcast roll, and I am going to use a Scholar on it if I can.
Okay. I want to hear your reasoning for Scholar.
Basically, knowing rituals around this and how to approach to the soul of the dead to try and basically do the proper rites.
I'll say yes. Tentatively.
Right. Oh, a 20 with hope.
Okay, so I'll answer up to 3 questions.
Yes. She will ask, where is your hideout?
Well, this was our primary one, but we had one underneath the old cellar beneath the jail. Gods didn't look where they slept.
How many of you are there here in the city or town?
Final counts pointed to 5, including myself. Had more. They died this morning.
And the last question, she looks to the rest of them. What do you want to ask?
Can you think of any questions, Ollie?
No, I can't really. You already covered it.
I guess, is there... Let's see. Are there any hidden stashes separate to the hideout?
There.
Are there any hidden stashes that you have around town?
Not in town. 5 miles south. A tree stand.
Oh. Okay. And then the spell fades and the crystal turns to dust.
Oh, that is a sight unsettling. You could have done that to
No,
me,
you
couldn't
can
you
get
have?
But you weren't dead, per se, right?
No, I was, like I said, I was comatose, so it only works on dead people.
Yeah.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
Well, then we know the other hideout on the jail. Let's go and check that out then.
Yeah, let's go smoke these rats out. And by smoke them out, I mean kill them.
All right, so all of you start making your way. Make my way downtown.
Walking way downtown.
And you see actually the bartender at the jail. She sees you guys, kind of freaks out. Jason? Jackson? Either one of you want to come up here and meet our guests? You see the big guy that you recognize.
Mm-hmm.
He steps up, like, well. Based on Miss Jessica here, the three of you have successfully put me in charge. I thank you very much for that. I believe you got your primary payment from my boss. So I think our business is concluded.
About
It's
that.
it's just him and the bartender out here right now.
Make an instinct.
Sure.
Can I as well?
Yes. Both of your
Hunter apply?
yeah. Both of your things would apply.
Yeah, well, I don't have hope for that right now, so.
Sure.
Hey, guess what? 18 with fear.
Hey.
Well, guess what? 18 with hope.
Hey.
And I'm gonna roll an instinct as well. Let's see. A 14 with fear.
So I'll take the 2 fear tokens. Ollie, you get the 1 hope token. So
Okay, so I just get the hope I got back.
Yep.
That's just bad.
And all of you notice that they are posted up on top of the building. One with a bow, the other 2, they seem at the ready for shit to go down, but they aren't, like, they're waiting for something.
Okay, so there's 2 up top. There's the bartender and there's Jason.
So you get the sense the bartender doesn't technically work for them. They're more of an informant.
Right.
There's 3 up top, and then there's Jason.
Okay, so there's 3 upstairs and 1 downstairs.
They're
And then
they're not upstairs. They're on the roof. They're ready to act.
That's still technically upstairs.
I just want you to know that they're not gonna. If something happens, they're not running down the stairs or jumping through windows.
That's perfectly fine. So out of character, how do we wish to approach this?
Well,
I have a thing.
yeah, I think we just throw down.
Because I have towering stock. If it's done right, and probably lift us up to the rooftop and throw his ass into the fucking air.
Oh man, I'm not worried about getting up there. I can get up there.
True. And I can get up there with towering stock.
But we're not going to be able to lure them away to somewhere else. So if we're going to throw down, let's throw down.
Okay. Are you ready, Fisk?
Whew. Let's see. Well, that's a curious little thing. Mysterious Mist mentions that the fog you create It only says that everyone within is hidden to anybody outside the fog. Not that everyone outside the fog is hidden to everyone inside.
Yes. It is mystic.
Wording's hilarious.
It is a mystic miss.
Well, if I can do a, I guess, surprise thing.
You'd be the after that would go into initiative, because right now they're just ready for you to do something or ready for a word. So if you want to get, this would be your one free shot before we go into turn order.
Yeah, sure.
Fuck it, we ball.
Yeah,
Go,
she
Fist, go. Go, Fist, go.
slams her staff down and just sends a mist around everyone, but you can still see out.
How big is the mist? Is it close range?
Very close range.
Very close range. Okay. Hey, that's not terrible, so. Most of you have decent ranged options anyway.
And now we're hidden.
Yep. And we go into turn order. So players.
What does hidden do?
So hidden, because it's a little wacky. While you're out of sight from all foes, you can mark a stress to gain the hidden condition. You have the hidden conditions, don't worry about that. While hidden, any rolls against you are at disadvantage. When you move or attack while hidden, or when an enemy gains line of sight of you, you are no longer hidden.
Well, yeah.
Did that say if you would be hidden, you can take stress to gain the condition?
No, when you're out of sight.
Yeah, when you're out of sight, you can gain the hidden condition.
So is this automatically giving us hidden, or do we have to take the stress?
So that's the normal rules for how hiding works. You're automatically given hidden.
That's fucking okay.
And can you reread it, please? I want to double check something. The Mystic Disc.
Yeah, do you want me to read the rules?
Yeah, read it one more time, verbatim.
Use an action to spend a hope, and I spent a hope.
Yep.
Cast a temporary thick fog that encircles the station area up to very close range for current location. Everyone within is hidden to anybody outside the fog, and it doesn't have a duration, so...
Its duration is quote-unquote temporary. That's its duration. So, from my understanding of that, as long as you guys stay within the mist, you keep the hidden category.
Yes.
Cool.
Slightly abusable, it feels.
I mean, potentially, it depends on how someone... I mean, that's the problem with rules lights, is if you don't specify...
It leads up to interpretation.
Yep, interpretation. But yeah, player turn.
You sound like you had a very specific plan, Ollie. So if there's something you want to do, go ahead.
It's my normal shtick for this session.
It's your normal stick for the session.
I cast Towering Stock underneath Jason the leader.
Yeet.
Yeet it.
Yeet it.
Roll to hit.
And when I conjure it, I make a stress. So let's see if I can actually conjure it. I'm probably gonna also spend a hope die because it's an agility roll, and as a Kari, I can before I make an agility roll, I can spend a number of hope to get an extra +1 to the roll. So this is going to be at +4 for my spellcasting.
Okay.
Which turns into a 16 with hope.
All right. So that works. That succeeds.
Cool. I'm going to use Apex Predator and Marker Stress to increase the proficiency die and get myself an extra D8. So this can become from 3d8 to 4d8. If he takes severe damage, he will also gain a point of stress.
Okay. Roll damage.
That comes out to 13 points of damage.
Oh, it is not severe, but it is major.
Okay. That's fine. So, you know, if they can even see the shade of my bow coming up, arrow flies out from the mist. The vines pop out from underneath, launch Jason into the sky.
And you
Actually, funny enough, the vines actually stop growing at the top of the building.
so yeah, he gets launched. Ah! Ah! He lands back on the ground. That's what's gonna constitute the damage because he doesn't slam into anything this time. He just gets sent. And what comes up must come down. But yeah, I'll even say he's prone.
Cool. That's only a regular. That's a spell cast, so I'll start running.
Well, that was an action.
Well, that was an action. Do I not get a movement too?
Oh, well, if you want to move outside of the hidden, you can absolutely do that.
Yeah, because I'm gonna move outside the hidden, and because of where the vines are at, not everyone's gonna be able to have line of sight on me. So I'm gonna start climbing,
I just start climbing up the stalk you made.
which can be easily climbed. So, yep, I
Okay.
have a way to get to the roof.
All right.
Well, I guess I could go next.
Sure.
She is going to cast Fireball. So the ones on the roofs is the ones who are most closely clustered together.
Yep.
I'm gonna teach them a lesson about spacing.
Well, most people in these times don't have to worry about artillery.
Yep.
It's a spellcasting rule. Oh no, they have to. Don't they have to succeed something with Fireball?
No, so I have to first do a spellcast roll,
Gotcha.
and I've succeeded with a 22 of fear.
Dear God, I don't know if it will matter.
Then they have a reaction roll, 12.
Hold them up. Said 12
Mm-hmm.
to add to it. Not a lot. You don't get to add a lot. Oh boy. So, just gonna do this 3 times. One of them makes it.
Oh, he takes half damage.
Good for him.
As I just did 16 damage with it. I maxed the dice.
So the 2 guys with looked like they were holding like clubs are immediately just. Wait a minute. You said 16?
Yeah.
All 3 of them are burnt to a crisp. Fucking their severe threshold was 7.
Oof.
Well, the sniper's was 7. He's the one that actually had a bonus. So he's the one that passed. But it didn't matter. The other 2 severe was 14, but it did 16 damage, so it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Maxing the damage die does a lot.
Yep. So they get just immediately torched. Velo, as you are climbing up, you see this thing of fire just zip past you and engulf the 3 individuals up there, and there's nothing by the time the fire dissipates. By the time that the flash of light is gone, you look back, they're gone.
Oh.
And Czar.
Death of time.
You're the only one that hasn't acted.
Is the leader still up?
He's alive. He's just on the ground. Like, he's prone, so you get an
Cool.
extra...
Let's fix that.
You get advantage.
Yep. Run over there. Hand room time. Advantage. Okay to that. Cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna like fucking jump over him and like slam down with that explosive concussive force on top of him.
Jesus.
17 with hope, finally.
Pain. And what is this ability called, or this move?
It's hand runes.
Oh, hand runes.
So I'm going to roll 2d10 magical damage for 6 magical damage.
He definitely fucking eats that. You said it was with hope?
Yeah.
So you jump on top of him, you punch him right in, like, he's on his stomach, so you're not punching him in the gut, you're punching him in his spine. You hear bones crack and him scream. That was with hope, so who wants to act next?
I guess, do you want to go? Or...
Zar's still on top of him, right?
Yeah, Zar's still on top of him.
Yeah. I can hit him again if y'all want me to. Okay.
Sure. Go ahead.
Fuck him up. Still have advantage.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Okay. Break his spine.
Advantage 3. 16 with hope. Finally, it's all coming back now.
Roll damage.
D10 magical. 13 magic damage.
Ah! You hear more cracking, and like the first time you hit him, like his arms and legs came up. They didn't come up this time.
Yeah.
But you hear him, he's breathing raggedly. I yield. God, I yield.
I mean, we're killing these people.
The bartender.
So I'm not going to be stopping.
Bartender ran again. Pretty sure they're running out of town.
Bye, Felicia. I'm assuming we're still like in initiative though.
Yeah, you're still in initiative. But are you just gonna hit him one more time?
Fucking yeah, I'll hit him again. Sure. Fucking die already. 23 with hope. Fucking dead.
No, please.
For
No.
8 magic damage.
Please. No. How do you kill him?
I'm gonna pretty much smash him in the face until he's definitely beyond the point of defending himself, and I'm just gonna torch him with my fire breath.
So it's 1, 2, one final one to his face. He's like you're not sure if he's unconscious or dead, but you're like, fuck it, let the flames take care of him, and you just let it rip.
Yep.
And out comes your new automaton friend, your new Clank friend. I see this is taken care of. And you've grown is that a beanstalk?
It's only temporary.
Is it going to fall over? Is it going to disappear?
They'll return to the earth from whence they came.
Okay.
Talia is fussing a little, looking at the roof, seeing if she'd actually ignited it or anything. It's like, did I overdo it?
No, it was too hot too fast.
It breathes a sigh of relief.
Like, there's definitely like charred wood. It burnt quickly because anything exposed to enough heat quickly is just going to burn.
Yeah. Sorry about the roof.
Check their bodies.
It's fine. We weren't using it anyway. May need to reuse and get it spruced up, but baby steps. But I thank you all very much for that. I have found that they had some horses nearby. If you all don't want to stick around in town and... Well, I'd offer you free drinks, but there's not a whole lot left of that either. This town has seen better days. I'm just now getting a grasp of what all went wrong.
I don't think free is much of a concern right now.
Also fair. But, I mean, there are plenty of empty houses if you wish to set up and stay the night while I organize our people and, well, my people. I have to get used to saying that. Organize my people to get ready to re-explore those mines. If you wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind asking for some help in the future to make sure that there are no more of those zombies.
As long as there's pay involved.
I'm sure that can be arranged.
I don't mind sticking around then.
Excellent.
Bam.
Well, I look forward to our future partnership then. Oh, and if any of you know anyone in the area that's needing work, well, there's about to be a lot of it here.
Good to know. I have some people in mind. I probably want to know.
Excellent. I could prepare as I now have access to some of the stores here, I could prepare a advance for those individuals to begin working as soon as they get here.
Very good.
Excellent. Well, all of you enjoy your night. I am going to figure out how to walk in heels, as I can't take these off. And they turn around and kind of stumble, walk away. And with that, we'll close down here. Questions, comments, suggestions? Did everyone have fun?
Oh, gosh. Never again.
So I had fun.
So I don't mind getting like a couple of comments. I don't want to go super in depth. I want to save that for its own episode. But like I did do a little bit of changing here and there. Nothing super drastic. But you all fought two leaders, the enemy types or adversary types known as leaders. They have a bunch of special moves. Didn't seem to matter for the last one. I got smoked.
Deserved.
Something I do want to have. And I'll write this down. For a game that doesn't that people are saying that you shouldn't sit there and like tactically think out combat. Man, if you as the GM don't, you're gonna lose all of your shit and fights are gonna be trivialized so fucking quick.
Yeah.
Like if you have players who relatively know like, oh, there's people bunched there, I'm gonna fucking blow them the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think the only time that we had the scary fight was with that, the boss enemy that I threw at you just a little bit ago. And even then.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And honestly, I don't know if I would say it was necessarily her as an enemy that was the scary part of that encounter.
Fair.
The constant failing / with fear was actually what hurt us more than anything.
Yeah, so, and I could be reading this wrong. I'm going to reread it probably 6 more times and still not fully comprehend it because I don't think it specifies it well. But there's room for interpretation when looking at the combat rules that it's failing with fear. that's what I started. That's what that second fight. That's where I treated it as. Because I knew Talia at one point succeeded, but with fear. And I'm like, let's try the other interpretation. Oh, all my players get to go. Well, what a great time. Rather than, because we got to that point in that fight again where, like, for the Horde, because I threw a Horde at you guys, which have their own unique mechanics, they have 1 HP, and for every 4 points of damage you do, you kill another enemy. So, kind of neat, kind of not, depending on your thoughts. Until someone was just like, "Hey, this entire like line, I just slammed them into the ceiling." I was like, "All right, well, fuck me." But I also got to use the countdown thing there and have you guys escape collapsing cave.
Yeah.
I made the best of it. So because we started running that issue again, I said, fuck it. If you're not failing with fear, I'm not fucking with it. I don't care. I'll get more actions out of it, and it won't feel bad for failing or rolling a success. Like, you as a player get punished for succeeding because you didn't succeed the right way. Yeah, no, I'm going to stop there because that's going to be in the review thing.
Yeah,
and maybe I just read it wrong. I was doing it wrong this entire time. If that is the case, I will own up to that entirely after I do another review of the rules.
I would argue that's not entirely your fault because obviously the rules need to be better written. And I don't think anybody can really argue with that because they themselves have acknowledged that the descriptions of things do still need tweaking, and there is flat out just many ability cards and stuff still that are just still not definitively worded. Not to mention that they've come out and said they would rather people tackle the system from a rulings versus rules perspective. I'm not going to get super into that. That can be for the actual review, but people can't get mad at you for interpreting it that way, in my opinion. I don't think that is an error on your part. It is an error on the system and the ideology's part behind the system.
Yeah. Fisk, so you actually got to do combat this time. What'd you think of combat?
So the abilities for the mage are pretty dope.
Yeah.
They feel fun to use, though there are some things that I noticed that are pretty weird. So Arcane Barrage is fantastic, but also a really weird spell that it uses. It's fantastic when you really need to nuke something and you have a lot of hope, but it kind of feels neutered also sometimes because it requires hope. Also, the whole instead of when it says a d6 instead of 1d6 could be a little clearer on the cards, certainly.
Yep, that was one of the feedbacks I provided in the playtesting.
And it also feels a little swingy when with initiative, because it's like, oh yeah, because there was like a failing and just going back to the enemies, and then failing, going back to the enemies, and then back and forth like that, like crazy. It made it feel weird.
Yeah, like talking about the getting punished for succeeding but not succeeding in the right way. Talk about getting punished for failing a roll outside of just the usual cost of failing a roll.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that fucking sucks, especially in combat where, because like,
awesome.
Fourth version, it's commonly accepted in tabletop RPGs. Action economy is everything. So now, Czar fails a spell roll. He doesn't hit, doesn't do any damage, So his action is ineffective, and now the enemy gets to take another action. And the rest of the players lose out on effectively extra actions because somebody failed to roll.
Yep. Also, I also made sure I went to the action tracker stat area, and I'm going to read it verbatim. Whenever a player makes a move that tells them to use an action or makes an action roll, they add a character token to the action tracker. This is those action tokens. When you make a GM move, usually after an action roll that fails or is rolled with fear. So
Yes.
it specifically calls out or.
It's either one.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I am interpreting it correctly. Which sucks. I think that is... I understand to a degree. Like, you want fear to be a bad thing. Here's the thing. I already get a resource for it that I can use to sit there and go, fuck you, you don't get to do this. Or fuck you, I interrupt your turn. Because that's specifically something you can do with the fear tokens, is you can say, I pause the PC's turn, that way I can take a turn. But with how combat was working, I didn't need to do that. Because most of the time, only one of them went. Anyway, I'm not interrupting anything.
Yeah.
But there are things about this system that I think are neat, and I think are good ideas, and I think are cool. The house's foundation, though, this system being a house, the foundation it's built upon, I think is the problem. And it is why I probably won't come back to this game unless some dramatic changes are made, which it's a playtest. It's in beta. They could throw the baby out with the bathwater and make something completely different. Will they? I kind of doubt it based on the amount of time that they've invested.
Yeah, I can appreciate that level of copium to a degree.
Yeah.
But honestly speaking, for years and years in game development and other things, that's always been it's in beta or it's in alpha or whatever. It's still being tested, and they could change it. Every single time, a dramatic change has never been done.
Yeah.
The reality is, this game is coming out in a year from now. Effectively. Year and a half, something like that. They are not going to completely overhaul what is effectively the engine of this car. A lot of the bits, a lot of the parts could be swapped out, but how it functions, this is probably what it's going to look like. And their response to feedback just being optional rules, I can understand not wanting to apply a lot of mandatory rule changes for people who want to follow rules as written, like we were. But when there's a gross response, and gross meaning a lot of responses saying combat is fucked, initiative is not great, a lot of people are struggling with it from a mechanical standpoint with how swingy it is, like Fist said. And their response is, well, here's an optional rule to kind of put limits on how many times people can act. It's like, well, that didn't really address anything. And as a prospective player, that reads to me as they're committed to keeping the initiative system as is.
Yeah.
I think the optional rule is a half measure to be like, well, if you don't like it this way, do it this way. But doing it that way doesn't necessarily really fix the issues you have.
No. And
for anybody listening to this who wants to disagree and just, oh, well, just, make your own, have people roll for initiative. I do it at my table. Homebrew doesn't count. I can homebrew any system. When it comes to a review of a system, it's why do I want this system?
Yeah.
Homebrew does not factor into that review. I can homebrew literally any system. That is not a unique feature of this game. So that is not a valid argument of defense for the system.
We're trying to judge the system on its own merits and what it brings to the table, not what we as players and GMs bring to the table.
Yeah, and honestly, it's really a detractor if your response to a problem with the system is just homebrew it. It's a simple fix. It's so easy. Just do this. Cool. Why don't the devs do that? Why don't the devs have it as an optional rule? Why isn't it baked into the system? Or why is the system allowed to be like this?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you're not allowed to homebrew or whatever. Just if you're going to defend the system, don't make the homebrew defense. It's pointless. You're not doing anybody any favors.
Yeah, it's disingenuous to what we're referring to.
So some things that I really do quite like. The proficiency system and how things scale with it is pretty cool.
Yes.
Yes.
Spells and whatnot. I like the different system, like the different weapons that use different stats, because that's also cool and thematic. I do like the threshold HP system as well.
Yes, it's my favorite part, realistically.
My one complaint about the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I do overall, conceptually, I like the idea of weapons going off of different stats. I think it's a cool thing that makes sense from a certain perspective. My issue with it is if I'm going to heavily invest in instinct, I am now encouraged to look only at weapons that use instinct. And if my only option is hand runes, well, I'm going to use hand runes. And if I don't have any ranged options or insert other option here, that might become frustrating. And if I play instinct characters a lot, it'll get stale fast.
Yeah.
So that's my big complaint with it.
Something that would be pretty good is if weapons have 2 stats they can use. You can choose.
I like that thought. I do like that thought, actually.
That'd be a good idea.
Because then you can like personalize what kind of because like a great staff with your magic, you could probably use it with knowledge or presence. You are either like a wizard casting spells through the arcane or whatever, or a sorcerer or some cleric that is using their force of will with presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that's I noticed that I took a little issue with is how their armor system, or like how the starting equipment is set up. Like for example, when I looked made this Talia, I was like, why wouldn't I pick up breastplates?
That's a great question. Because I thought the same thing.
Well, it's been slightly nerfed, but because allegedly evasion was overpowered. Allegedly. But yeah, like especially how some classes are kind of like set up to be evasion classes. Yeah, as a wizard, there isn't a reason to not take a breastplate because it's not like it's going to give you penalties on swim checks.
Nope.
Or any athletics check, or it's not going to affect you in any meaningful way because the system is too light for that. And for the people who are inevitably going to say, well, the game master can step in and like inflict penalties for wearing heavy armor. It's like, okay, cool. So what happens when you're going to have a bunch of people complaining that their GMs are targeting them for having heavy armor, because now it's going to feel like they're being picked out.
Yeah.
Because the armor doesn't mechanically actually have these drawbacks. And some of those same people who are going to say, who are going to bring this up might also be the same people who are going to complain when they start getting focused.
Yeah.
We're
moving into review territory on that one. Back on initial reaction.
Experience is good.
Yes.
Experience is cool. It allows to, though it runs into the problem because it's so open. that you pick something that never comes up, even though it like is something that notes for your,
Yeah, they kind of encourage you to pick things that are going to apply to like 90% of the stuff you do. At least in regards to your character functionality, like it was straight up like a lot of the suggestions are like have something that you can use for like in combat as well as out of combat. Which I think I talked about this at the end of another episode, maybe, but like picking Pyromancer for Czar, all of his shit is fire. Pretty much all of his attacks are fire.
Yeah.
So I just blanket. If I have the hope, I can spend the hope and get those bonuses. But like you said, downside, people who don't necessarily can come to those conclusions of like good things that would work in every situation or in a lot of situations anyways are kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do struggle when it is super nebulous and it's just literally write whatever you want. Sometimes that is the last thing you want to tell somebody, because a lot of people will sit there and just stare at it for hours and not come up with anything without help.
Yeah. Something that I also noticed, which worked fine here because, we don't have an abusive GM, but there is, when it's like many of the status conditions you can like clear with fear.
Yep.
Right. And that just makes me a little like, my initial thoughts on that is that requires a lot, like basically fine when you have a GM that you trust or a GM that is fair, but it's also a avenue of abuse to make a character feel absolutely useless because they just spent their turn trying to do that and then it just gets negated.
Yeah. And like I want to show you guys like behind the screen, but I'm going to do that off the podcast. To show you like what I get to do as a GM.
Yeah, for the listeners, we'll probably dive into that in the review.
We will.
More.
But there are some things that you would that you would normally do as a GM that is technically speaking bound to the fear mechanic. Like if I wanted to introduce something to the scene that negatively impacted you, or hey, the door closes behind your group and is like sealed shut by magic or whatever, that way I could split the party, I had to spend fear for that. Now, for those of you who are listening, you'll probably notice that I did a few things like that without doing that. It's because it's stupid. But I'll get to that in the review.
And also initial reactions.
Yeah.
We never really got there, but just looking at how the things are structured, I don't like the vault.
Don't like the what?
The vault.
Oh, the vault? Yeah. That.
None of us on this podcast have cared for it at all.
It's not even something that we've interacted with, which is funny because as Codex, you're the only one that gets something that interacts with it.
Yeah. It was like cool concept to be able to pull knowledge from like your vast knowledge or whatever, but also it feels so limited. Like a person has so many experiences, and as we grow an adventure and whatnot, they grow to gain more experiences. Why would they forget things that they have previously?
Also, well, you could spend a stress to pull it out of the vault and switch it with something else real quick.
New headcanon is Daggerheart is actually a very low key changeling the dreaming rip, and it's just Alzheimer's simulator.
Like that being said, like we didn't really get to interact with the vault. I kind of like I planned this to go 6 sessions. We got through 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like, if we tried to drag this out for another 3 sessions, I'd probably been like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Especially this session, I was like already feeling it. Like I want to be done. I just ugh.
And
There
like,
also the
go ahead.
Another initial impressions from Wizard, at least. You get pretty cool class features. They were very useful and pretty good.
What do you think of like the domain aspect of it overall?
Domains. Actually, I really like the concept of the domains. That you have, that there is some overlap between the classes because they might deal in similar avenues, but I think they should be expanded upon what they can do inside of those domains.
And I agree, and I think part of that could just be it's like, hey, this is a playtest, this is what they have now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, hey, there's not enough content for the domains because this is a playtest and they're wanting people to test how the rules function before they're like, oh, here's like 6 cards for this domain at level 2. Because every domain at level 1 has 3 cards, like 3 or 4 cards. And then every level after, you have 2 options from that.
Mm-hmm.
So like you have a good spread. I do think there could be more, but I mean, I'll always take more steak and eggs.
As a concept, I think the domain system is pretty cool, actually.
What did you think of the abilities? Like you have instinct knowledge, but you don't have skills.
I like it, but also not.
Fair.
I think that there could be. I think it would allow for more character expression if you could actually put specific modifiers on specific skills, because now everyone that has high instinct is good at perceiving. But that might not be the case in like a character concept or whatever.
Yeah.
And like if everyone with high presence is good at charming and deceiving, but what if you're like playing a goody two shoes present? Sure, you can role play it, but still, stats wise, you are good at deceiving. And I think that if you could like separate the skills a little, at least, from the stats themselves, so you can add some customization there, that would be allow for more character expression, I think.
All right. Ali, do you have any final thoughts? Or have you been muted this entire time? Okay.
No, I haven't been muted this entire time. I don't really have a whole lot to go on. I just know, because I wasn't really paying attention to any of the changes that they did until I was looking over the character sheet again. I'm saddened on the fact that they had to change out the Wanderborn ability, because I guess it was too easy for just someone going, oh yeah, I have a thing.
Random common item OP. Who can't have that in our game?
I think it was more of those too nebulous. And people are like, I don't know what to do with this.
Right.
Yeah,
But like, why would I
that's kind of
why would I want to switch it around to like any of the other? Oh, I get low light vision.
Oh,
low light vision. What the fuck?
Or I get to take an extra action during rests.
Or you know, what? Yeah, one of them is like, as an underborn, I get low light vision. As a wildborn, I can move more quietly.
So the funny one that I thought about almost immediately is like, okay, that's strange. I don't know why they did that and why I told you to switch.
Yeah.
If you get nobleborn, you just randomly get a handful of gold.
Well, here's the other one. Flyborn. I have advantage on any negotiations with criminals, detecting lies, or finding a safe place to hide.
Yeah, like it's
it makes no sense for Nomad to just be, yeah, you can just swap out your community every session or whatever. Like, nomadic cultures are a thing. They have their own definitive cultures. And I'm only saying it in this way because of clearly the amount of thought they put into like not doing anything offensive or whatever. But it's like if I wanted to emulate a nomadic civilization, it's essentially like, okay, cool. Nomadic peoples don't actually have a culture of their own. They just copy other communities on the fly.
Yeah, and that's fucked.
And that feels bad looking at it from that perspective. Like, there are things you can give nomads without, like, if the nebulous thing really is too much of a problem, there are other things that you can give them without this, quite frankly, cop out.
Yeah.
Thematically as well, if you just copy a culture with a nomad, that feels kind of
wrong.
Yeah.
Like
it's a little problematic. I feel.
Yeah, yeah. That starts getting problematic real quick. Also, I made up the shit with the Clank and like how their souls are inside cores and whatnot. Because there's not really a ton in the way of lore on them. And I was just like, well, I think this would be kind of fucking cool. As long as it's got a source of power, it can keep on trucking, and it's the person's mind and soul in there. They just need something to be connected to. So,
Yeah.
like, I thought that was pretty neat. Hire me.
There's also one other initial impression that I have.
Sure.
With character creation.
Yes.
There is no I wonder if this is just because it's playtest or something, but there is no background for being from the boonies. Just being like a farmer.
Yep. Zemian made a note of that as well when we were doing character gen.
Which is like classic hero origin 101.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that they'll wrap on this discussion for now. That way this recording just doesn't go on. Like, there are things like I like about the system, don't get me wrong, but there are so many other problems in my eyes. You'll get a full review from us. I'll have that posted not long after I get these episodes posted. You all have a wonderful time, and thank you for listening. We'll hope to have you on the next one. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.